Hi, folks, and welcome to Internet Dental Alliance's LeadFire 2.0 weekly teleconferences. This is the second of our series, and we're glad that you've all managed to join us today. I'm here with Jim Molin and Michelle Simmons, and we have a number of exciting topics that we're going to be talking through today. First off, just to welcome you all here, I want to say if you have a hard time seeing at any point, you might expand the Google Hangout window to full screen. You can also click Jim's icon at the bottom right of the Google Hangout to make sure you're seeing what's on his screen. Also, if you'll notice on the right side, there's a Webinar Jam control panel where you can chat with us and ask your questions. We'd love to hear what you have to say. All right, as I mentioned, I'm Julie Fry. I work here at the Internet Dental Alliance doing marketing. We also today have with us Michelle Simmons. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Julie.
And with us also is Jim Molin. Hi, Jim.
Standing by.
Okay, so there's a number of topics that we're going to talk through today. Jim, would you like to give us a preview of what we're going to be discussing today?
Sure, let's do a quick review of what we're going to do today. So let me click over. Let's make sure that you get the picture. And first of all, we're going to talk about marketing with professional credentials. Most people don't understand that we have to build trust in the people we're communicating with and we're marketing to. And one of the primary things that we can do that with are with the professional credentials that the doctors have put together over their career. So we're going to review that. We're going to show all the different types of credentials you can use and how easy it is to do it within the LeadFire program. But it applies to everything else you do in your marketing. And I'll get to that in a little bit more detail. Then we're going to talk about how to market your practice's financial terms. Most people don't understand that how you structure and present your financial terms are extremely important. There are three great things or important things that people want in a dentist. And the third one is they want to know how much the dentistry is going to cost and how they plan on paying for it. So you really want to make sure that you present your financial terms in a straightforward way, in a friendly way, so that you get them to call your office to discuss it a little more later. So it's not a major problem. You want to move through that and make sure that you've taken care of those concerns. Next, number 3, we're going to talk about how to set up practice promotions for more new patients. This is one of the neglected areas. Most doctors don't promote their practice as much as they can. I know that some states have some regulations here, but I think those are very few. The issue here is we're going to walk through a whole series of examples of promotions and show you how you can set them up on your LeadFire 2.0 websites, but you can use these promotions in other marketing. And that's what we want to give you an idea for and how to coordinate all that. So those are the main topics we're going to talk through today. Next, we're going to answer some doctor questions that we've got, and you can ask questions as we go along. First is, what are the most popular dental websites on the internet for doctors to ask questions of other doctors? I thought this was a good question, came in, and we'll get to that, and I want you to use your chat capability to suggest those things or send us an email. The next one we've got, which is fun, can you please review the logic of your doctor case presentation script? I can do that. I've probably done that several times already, but for several thousand people over the years, and I'll be glad to review it in this program. So those are the key things that we're going to talk through. And let me switch this over now so that we can see an example as we move through these things. I'm going to go out, and hopefully I'm going to be able to bring this up without any problem.
So, Jim, are you going to be showing us the control panel?
Yeah, I'm going to show you the control panel, and I'm going to close off the slideshow and take that down for the moment, and hopefully you're getting to see the control panel in a minute.
So, folks, right now what you can see, or you just saw the Meet the Doctors screen, that's a page in a doctor website. And what we're going to move on to talk about now is the first of our issues, which is marketing with professional credentials. And Jim's going to show you how to do that and discuss why it's important and then how it will look on your ultimate web marketing.
All right, like I said,
IDA.
Doctor credentials are probably one of the most important things to build trust between you and your potential new patient. Now, in your LeadFire program, it's really easy. We'll use this as an example. You open up your control panel, and if any of you have any questions on how to get into your control panel, it's really simple. If you have anything, call our support group. Michelle, you're standing by how many days a week for how many hours a day to make sure that people get their questions answered?
We're here 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, Central Time.
So anybody can call up, and we've got a team of people there that'll be glad to answer your questions, to walk you through any changes you want to make in your control panel. They're super nice people, so you shouldn't have any problem with them. Don't abuse them, though, because we don't allow that. These are really good women, and they do a great job. And I think, Michelle, how many years of experience do you have working with this program?
15.
15. Deidre's been with us for about, what, 4 or 5 years now?
Yep.
Okay, so all these people know this program. Quite honestly, at this stage, I think they know it better than I do. So I'll ask Michelle's help as we go through. So to take a look at your credentials and how important they are, you just go to the doctor section. And we're going to just do Dr. John Sample. And we're going to click on him. And all of a sudden, you see his shining face. Hopefully, in a later seminar or webinar, we'll go through on how to take a good picture. A lot of people ask me about the picture issue on how they should dress, and it really is there's some interesting things. If you have any doubts about how you should look, wear a coat and tie. It depends really on your marketplace to a great thing and what your demographics are and what your client base is. But if you have any doubts at all about how you should dress, if you're a man, wear a coat and tie. It's called wrapping the package. And you wrap it as well as you possibly can. When you get to be my age and you don't have any hair, you wrap the package as much as you possibly can to make it look good. So let's look at the credentials issue. It's just right here in the center. And what happens here is very simple. These are the ones that have been pre-selected for you, or that you've selected. They may be correct, they may not be correct. Now, here we've got an American Dental Board of Anesthesiology. Not everybody is on that, so if you don't like one of your credentials, or for some reason you made a mistake, all you have to do is trash it with a trash can. Not a tough thing. Over on this side are a list of almost all the major groups that we could come up with. We actually have got about 40 or 50 different groups in here. Down at the bottom, this is one of the things I really like. You can look at all the associations. If you select the little drop down, you can also have Canadian provinces, and you can go through, and we've selected those, and you can go through and make sure that you get some of the associations there. You've got the United States, you've got the individual states so that you can see what we have in each state, and you've got Canada, social organizations, international. So let's just be real straight up here and use the United States. I'm going to do the whole set of United States. We've got American Dental Association. Almost everybody has that. Put your state association in without any hesitation. Academy of General Dentistry is really great. Now, you want as many of these as you possibly are qualified for. So if you are a laser dentist and you're a member of the Academy of Laser Dentistry, you can just grab this and drop it over. That's one way to do it. If you, let's say you're a member of the American Academy of Implantology. You can select it, depending on how you do it, and just push it over that way. Anytime that you've made a mistake or you don't think it's right, you can just hit the trash can and pull it away. So you take the ones that you're members of. Some of you might be American Board of, oh, that was interesting. Let me go back, excuse me. American Board of Oral Conscious, or let's see, Orthodontics. Okay, I'm going to do this one. And take something really good, American Society for Dental Aesthetics. All right. Now, that's some of the standard associations. You want to get all the ones that you're possibly qualified for. Go back down here and go to social organizations. Now, you have to understand this is really important because these show, well, your official credentials show what your dental qualifications are. A lot of people want to know if you're involved in anything local, and that's a big thing. So if you're part of the Lions Club, okay, bring that over. Put that down as your credential, and don't hesitate. You've got the Odd Fellows. I know a lot of dentists belong to that. And we've got the National Grange for those of you who are out in the rural area even. So Loyal Order of the Moose. Grew up with that one. Now I know what that problem is. Okay. So it goes over and you got it. The issue here is fill them up as much as you can. After social, go down to international. You never know what's there. If you're looking and you're hard up, you can take any one of these international ones, anything that you belong to. I really favor the Dental Organization for Conscious Sedation Docs because, quite honestly, I was one of the co-founders back in the year 2000 and worked with them for close to 8 years. So it's a good thing, and get that logo onto your website if you qualify. Some of the other ones in here, if you need to, don't hesitate to put in the Internet Dental Alliance, because if you're a LeadFire 2.0 member, you're a member of the Internet Dental Alliance. LVI is down here. If you've got that credential, definitely use it. It's a great thing and people can see it. You can also build your own credentials under New Item. And it's really simple. You just get New Association, you select it, and then you edit it. And you can put in any association that we haven't got listed. I don't suggest that you do this. I think you should select them off the list if you possibly can, but you can put in your own if you want to. So take that away with that. Now, what does this look like in real time? So let's see. I'm going to go up here. We've got, this is the website for for this website that we just changed. I'm going to refresh, take you down. These are the credentials that we started with. Now I'm going to refresh this. Oh, well, that didn't work the way I wanted it to. What did I do wrong, Michelle?
Go ahead and hit save, Jim.
Oh, yeah, I think that would probably be a good idea.
Yep. And then go ahead and pull this site up again.
Okay. I'm going to refresh.
Yep. Go back to the home page and refresh.
Shall I try again?
Yep.
Okay. Now we have all the credentials. If I follow the instructions of my team, it will be easy. You'll also notice down here that we have a bunch of logos. Now, you can add and subtract logos any way you want, but there's the easy way is very simple. You just go over here. You've got Dr. John Sample again, and you do logos. And you add in any of these logos. These are the ones that are displayed automatically. You can take one off if you want, and you can add in any of these that are on this side without any problem at all. And you can even add new logos if you have the picture of them and just put them on yourself. So if I want to put another logo over here, there it goes. And it's down here. So that's how your credentials work. One of the other things that you might want to look at while you're on this side of the program is the philosophies. Every doctor should have some copy about who or he or she is and what your basic credentials are if necessary. In this case, if you're a board certified person or a specialist, be sure to put that in. That's what this person did. I also like to break these up a little bit. I know that they show better on the websites if you do. and so forth. Now, one of the things I have to tell you, when we first started doing this, doctors continually selected just the top one right off the bat. You'll love the personal attention that we give you and so forth. We started to randomize these, so you should read these. You can change them really easily, so that's not a problem. If you want, you can go over here and just add in a new one. It's not tough, and you can edit any of these credentials. That's one of the main things you have to remember. And so we've given you a start. You can copy and paste these over too, so you can combine them. There's just about anything you want to do here. But make them as personal as possible, and it'll automatically show up on your site. All right, so that's everything we have there.
Okay,
where do you want me to go next?
I'd like to take a moment to check in with Michelle. Michelle, do you have anything to add on the topic of doctor credentials or any other tips about setting up doctor profiles?
We just recommend that you make them as personalized as possible. We like to give potential leads the opportunity to see what you're all about on your website. As far as the philosophy goes, that is a great field for you to be able to put a fully customized bio in there if you choose, that can include whatever you want. Some clients talk about their education, their schooling. Some talk about the different positions they've held with different organizations, both professional and social. Some talk about their families, life achievements. It's really, your philosophy is a great way to sell yourself.
Right, and I think it's also important under credentials that if you are the sponsor of the of a teenage girls soccer team, that you mention 3-year sponsor of the Tiburon soccer team, girls soccer team. Don't hesitate to put those things in, because those are important things that show that you are part of the community and that you do that kind of stuff. So anything of that nature, if you're a Boy Scout troop leader, master, make sure you get that in there. I have one of my team has 2 daughters, and he is the chief of the Indian princesses. And he's been doing it for, as he said, 2 daughters. He's been doing it now for about 6 years, and I think they're finally graduating out of the Indian princesses. But that's a big credential in the area, because all the people with children and girls, especially, they're all in this organization. If he's a chief, he's a good guy. So make sure you make those connections all the way through. All right, where do you want me to go next?
Michelle, anything more to add?
I think that covers the doctor profile.
Okay, well, I'd like us to move on then to the next topic, which is, Jim, at the beginning of this teleconference, you mentioned that one of the top things that patients want in a dental practice is to know how they are going to pay for treatment.
Okay.
And that led us into the topic of how to market your practice via financial terms. So what can you tell us about that, Jim?
Well, first of all, there's 2 sides to this issue. You can go down under the individual location, because this is done by location, and you can put in the financial terms. Now, the real easy thing is you start with MasterCard, American Express, Capital One, Diners Card, whatever you accept in your practice. In this case, most everybody accepts Visa, so I'm just going to bring that over, and now Visa's into this equation. As you go down here, you've got different credit groups. Now you've got everybody from Care Credit, Chase Health Advice, Enhance, Health One, Springstone, all these different ones. You can also load up your own if you have a picture of the card. So I'm a promoter. I think Care Credit is pretty good, so I'm going to bring them over too. These are the ones that are going to show up on your website. It's also going to show, all these are going to show up on your national and local directory, and that's an important thing to remember, because you want to make sure that you understand that all of this is automatically changed. If you change one thing in your control panel, it changes it on all your websites, and it changes it on your national and local control panel. So at least the basic information. You can customize individual websites to a great degree. Down here at the bottom, this is the financial arrangement statement. And this is really important. This is probably hard for anybody to read right now. So I'm going to switch this over, and I'm going to go over to our sample, and I'm going to go down to appointments and convenient financial terms. You notice we use the word convenient financial terms. You don't just say financial terms or financial arrangements or dental financing. You say convenient financial terms. That's the keyword phrase. Now this should be big enough for everybody to see. I'm going to try a little bit more to blow it up. How's that for everybody? All right, you can see you have the Visa card and the Care Credit that we just added. And I'm going to read this off to you because it's really important. Our goal is to maximize your insurance benefits and make any remaining balance easily affordable. That's a great sentence. Almost 50% of the people have insurance, for dental insurance at some level. And you want to say your goal is to maximize your insurance benefits. Everybody wants to have their insurance benefits maximized. And so this is a really nice thing. And make the remaining balance easily affordable. And one of the things you learn here is it's not what the dentistry costs, it's how you make it affordable. Think of the last time you went in to buy a car at a dealership. They didn't say, they don't talk about the fact that the car you want to buy is $62,000, which is a horrendous thing. They talk about the monthly payment, and is that affordable? That's the issue that's being communicated. So that's all you have to think about, is how to make it affordable. If you have any questions regarding your insurance benefits, please don't hesitate to call our office, and it'll automatically insert your phone number in there to review your concerns. You want to know in advance. You want to answer these questions in advance about insurance, but you want them to call your office so you can deal with it on your terms, not on their terms. So they start acting. You've all got people trained at your front desk to answer all these questions. You know how you deal with insurance. And we're going to give you, as part of your case presentation program, which you probably already have. If you don't, just call support and we'll make sure you get it, how to deal with insurance questions. So maybe we'll even do that in a webinar in the future. Now this is a good one. Actually, I got this statement while I was at Nordstrom's about 10 or 15 years ago, buying clothes with my wife. She gets me out once every 2 to 3 years and to buy clothes, and she, does this whole thing. So we're in Nordstrom's, and they said, our fees are based on the quality of the materials we use and our experience in fitting customers for the clothes they need. Well, I used that term. I saw that. I said, that is really good. So I said, in dentistry, our fees are based on the quality of the materials we use and our experience in performing your dental treatment. Think about it, guys. We're not saying that you're expensive. We're not saying anything. We're saying we base our fees on the quality of the materials we use and our experience in performing your needed treatment. If you want to go down to Dr. Slipshot's office down the block, get a crown for $50 less, think about it. Because the bottom line is people want to make sure they get quality, and they want people with experience. And that's what this is implying in this sentence. So that's why we put it in here. If you would like to review these financial arrangements options with one of our team members in advance of treatment, please call, and your phone number is automatically dropped in. Again, we repeat down here, if you have dental insurance, please call our office to verify your specific coverage. Get that out of the way and deal with it. So this is it. Now you can change this very easily because you just go over here, you go down here, and you can erase it all. You can change the copy, do whatever you want. When you make a change, you should save it. I think I've learned that lesson earlier today. So that's our issues around financial arrangements. Now, for whatever marketing you do, it doesn't make it, it's not just on the internet, it's any kind of newspaper marketing, radio marketing, television marketing. It doesn't cost you anything to drop these card symbols at the bottom of the screen and mention that you have convenient financial arrangements. That's it. Any questions? Michelle, did I structure this correctly?
I believe so. I believe so.
Okay. Julie, anything else on this?
No, I think that was a great overview of practice financial terms.
Right.
And while we're in the control panel, I've got another thing I'd like for us to talk about. Practice promotions and how doctors can set them up to attract more new patients.
All right, so I imagine I have to go down to promotions. Promotions are set up on individual websites so that you can tailor them to the specific target market targeting with your website. As you know, all of our marketing portals, our marketing websites are specifically targeted at a specific type of dentistry and treatment. And if you are in a cosmetic website, obviously this one is, it's Tiburon Cosmetic Dentist, where that's your target market, it will only bring up promotions having to do with cosmetics. And you can change that if you want, that's to you. But the real issue here is for all the pages that have any kind of cosmetic information, dental information on it, you're going to have a series of promotions. Now, historically, we start these out. We don't know what your practice wants to do, other than we know what the target market is for cosmetic dentistry. And I think Michelle sets you up with 3 random promotions. Now, the promotions in this case are really generic. As you can see, I want a perfect smile. You want a perfect smile, ask about dental veneers, and your phone number is automatically merged in. Call today. How old is your toothbrush? Perfect smiles with dental veneers, and so forth. Now, if you want to change these, it's really simple. And first thing is, you only get 3. Now, you got 3 in here, so you got to take 1 out. So I'm going to take out, how old is your toothbrush? I'm just going to delete that. Okay? So I can now create a new one. So I want to go up here to suggestions. And I click suggestions. So these are some of the things that are already pre-made. Now, you can make your own, or you can adapt any of these. So as we go through these, there's all the generic ones are up front that don't have any specific offer. So you got everything. Veneers, beautiful. I like this particular one as a generic slide because it's beautiful smiles with cosmetic dentistry. Did a good job on that one. You can build your own if you want. Then you get through all of these and you start to get into where you're offering, making some sort of promotional offer. Teeth whitening, $300. Regular value of $500, bright and yellow teeth, eliminate coffee, tobacco, and tea stains. Call for complimentary consultation on more details. Now, you get to edit this any way you want. So if you want to select this, that's fine. Or you can go down and you can take any of these other ones that you want and edit it. So teeth whitening is one of the easy ones. We're not saying that you should charge an adult cleaning and polishing at $55. We just said you might want to consider a special offer. So you say regular value up to $99. I'm going to and view details, and we'll get into that in a minute. So let's just select this one just for selection's sake. Oh, I got tooth whitening. I guess I selected that. That's all right. I'll take that one. I want to edit it. You just go to click the pencil, and you can now select this and edit it over here. So teeth whitening, you can make it, and I'm not suggesting this, I'm just going to change it, $75. And then you can go through and you can say regularly $500. You can say change anything in here you want, regularly $395. You can change any of the copy. So you save that, and now that is part of your promotion. If you change this section, we have 2 tracks. This is one for cosmetic, and this is what shows on all your generic dental pages. You can also change these any way you want. just by going down, selecting it, asking for suggestions. Actually, you got to delete one first, excuse me. But go through your suggestions, and you've got a whole group of additional ones. And I say, don't worry if you've got a denture site or a root canal site. The promotions will vary automatically that you're offered for that, because it's keyed to the type of promotion you're doing on your site. Michelle, what have I forgotten?
On the promotions, you can create your own. You can change the background slide, and you can also put a call to action button on the slide as well, so that those special offers do appear on your special offers page.
Okay, let me just, out of curiosity here, let me go up here and see. I'm going to take this down a little bit. And we're under financial arrangements here. Okay. Let me go home page. And here are the promotions. Let me make sure I've reloaded this. And these turn over about, what, once every 20 seconds or so?
Yes.
And so it's a little slow. I wish I could get it to speed up. So you've got perfect smiles with dental veneers. And hopefully this will get one that'll come up with an offer. All right, here's the one we just edited. So I'm going to hit View Details. Oh, okay. This is your special offers page. Do you want to explain this a little more, Michelle?
Yes. And so when you are creating your promotion slide and you add a button where you can say click here to a point, or get more info, or get info, you flip over to another tab, and then you simply enter all of the details of the promotion. And
okay,
then go ahead. So go ahead and hit the pencil to edit the teeth whitening $75 ad.
Mm-hmm.
And now go ahead and click on the Offer Details tab.
Okay.
And then you do want to make sure that your offer details match the designs, the pricing and information in the design slide.
Okay, so I should change tooth whitening to $75.
Yes.
Okay. And let's see, I should also, I'm going to save that for the moment just to make sure, and edit this again. And my regular value is $3.95. So I should go to the details, and I should make sure this says $3.95.
Actually, just go ahead and delete that first sentence, and then just change the 500 to 300.
Oh, let me change that. Okay. And remember, you can call up Michelle or her team members, and they'll be glad to help you do this, or they'll do it for you in many cases.
Yes, and then this is a great place to put any disclaimer that you are required to list per your state dental boards. If you don't want this offer to be combined with any other coupon or offer, that's exactly where you want to state that.
Yeah, and it's you can do it. You can say for new patients, for new patients. You can do it for returning patients. You can work it any way you want, and you have total control over this. You can start with these backgrounds, and like Michelle says, you can edit them any way you want. You can put in your own pictures, everything you could possibly think of, and I'll be glad to give you ideas. Now, just so you know, every time you get into a section in your control panel, if you have any questions, the instructions are right here. And the other thing is, these are the basic instructions. Then you say, how do I? It turns the thing around, and here are videos all set and ready to go that you can watch on this process, and it automatically will run this. So all of these videos are available that'll walk you step by step through all this. So it's a really well thought out program in terms of making sure it works for you. And you can return to the front page, and you're back in business. So help is everywhere in this program. All right, anything else, Michelle?
No, I think that covers promotions.
Okay, what's our next topic? I hope it's Julie.
We're going to, you hear me now?
Yeah.
It's time now for us to move on to some of the questions that we've gotten from doctors.
Okay.
And one of those questions was about websites other than our IDA websites for doctors. We had someone who was wondering, what are the most popular dental websites on the internet for doctors to ask questions of other doctors?
Okay. The only one that comes right to the top of my mind is Dental Town. But to be honest with you, I haven't been over there in 2 or 3 years. I've got a lot to do in life as it is. So for those of you who are listening to this program, if you could send in those URLs to our email address. Michelle, do you remember what email address we're using for questions and replies? Excuse me, Julie, you'll know that.
Yeah. If anyone's got any ideas, anything to contribute to the conversation, suggestions, questions, you can always send them to coaching@internetdentalalliance.com. And it would be great to collect some more resources for the people who are wondering. So definitely, if you've got suggestions as to good dental website resources for doctors to connect with other doctors, please let us know.
Okay.
Okay, I've got another question for you, Jim. Someone was wondering if you could please review the logic of your doctor case presentation script. Now, I know you've got quite a detailed doctor case presentation script worked out, and I know there's a lot of logic behind it. Probably a much larger conversation than we have time.
So you're saying keep this simple.
Yeah.
All right. I admit I sometimes get a little carried away. Let me set up the PowerPoint. And make sure that you have it. Do you have that showing on your screens, folks?
Yeah, we're seeing the consult, and we've got a little thing that a doctor might say. So
okay.
Why don't you walk us through what we're seeing, Jim?
That's where I'll start with then. This is obviously for major case presentation. The small stuff, you're not going to, go through this in quite the same way. But let's talk. We're talking about someplace in excess of $800 to $10,000, somewhere in their area. That it's a major piece of work. So what you want to do is set the stage with the patient. So I'm going to give you the actual verbiage. And again, for those of you who are new to the program, this is part of your case presentation program that you've got. You've got videos on this in more detail. I think we've got several hours of videos, but I'll keep this short. And this is what you say and you open up with. I have prepared a treatment plan for you just as I would for one of my own family members. Okay? And you follow that with, you are free to accept none of it, some of it, or all of it. Now let's examine this statement. All right, I'm going to give you a treatment plan as I would do for my own family. Now what you're saying is, you're going to give them quality because that's what you would do for your family. You're going to make very thorough about it, and this is what I would do if you were a family member. And you're bringing them in. You're making them familiar with you and what's important to you. So your treatment plans for everyone are just as if you would do them for your own family. A very important thing. Next, you are free to accept none of it, some of it, or all of it. I don't know if any of you folks out there remember several years ago, Reader's Digest, when it was popular, did an expose on dental case presentation. And they had a young man travel across the country and go to 20 different dentists. And he had been examined by one of their doctors, and he had listed what needed to be done. All right. Now, not surprisingly, they got 20 completely different treatment plans, some ranging from you don't really need anything to be done. This is, minor stuff that is not serious enough to take care of now, to full mouth reconstruction for $12,000 or more. And the issue here is every doctor is going to have a different level of diagnosis. And let's be straight up. Every doctor has different level of competency in what he or she can do. So they tend to diagnose what they can do and what they feel comfortable with. When you came through this, we said we're going to do it just like we would for a family member. I believe in full diagnosis personally because let the patient make the decision on how much he or she wants to do. And that's why you say you are free to accept none of it, some of it, or all of it. But I would present a full case presentation and everything it would take to bring that mouth up to quality dentistry, just as you would have it for a family member. But you give them the choice so they don't feel they're being ramrodded into accepting an $8,000 case treatment program. Now, the way you say this, you always say you are free to accept none of it, some of it, or all of it. You always end with the term all of it, because that's the one thing that's going to stick in their mind psychologically when you get into the case presentation. All right, now let's move on. You've done it. This is your close. Mrs. Jones, assuming we can maximize your insurance and fit the remainder into your budget, is this the quality of care you would like to have? Do you see any good reason why we shouldn't schedule your treatment today? Pretty straightforward. Now let's break it down. Mrs. Jones, always address the person formally until they give you permission to call them Mary. You always say Mrs. Jones, Miss Jones. I don't care if this woman is 40 years younger than you, you call her Ms. Jones until you have permission to call her Jane. It's an issue of respect. And the more you show respect for the patient, the more they're going to respect you as a professional. So stick with Mrs. Jones until she gives you permission to use her first name. Assuming we can maximize your insurance. We talked about this earlier, how you deal with financial issues. Yeah, who doesn't want their insurance maximized? Bring it up. Assuming we can maximize your insurance. Is this the quality of care you would like to have? Wow, this is important. If you don't get a yes on quality of care, you're not going to get this patient to accept the treatment plan. Because basically, they're saying, yeah, you want the quality of care that you've laid out, which is the whole treatment plan. If they don't want the quality, you've got to go back and explain what the issues are. That's probably where you're going to have to stop if they have a question. But most of them won't. 80% of them will glide right through this. Now, this is what we call a trial close. Do you see any good reason why we shouldn't schedule your treatment today? Folks, don't give up the opportunity. If they say, oh, I'm going to be out of town for the next 3 weeks, and I says, that's no problem. We can schedule it starting in the month of August when you're back. But we really want to get it into the schedule now because we don't want you to have to wait too long for this because you never know what's going to happen. I'm sorry you're going on a vacation because some of this might be a problem then. Maybe we can get it in beforehand. You can work through this as appropriate, depending on what their condition is. If they have a serious problem and they shouldn't be going off vacation before they got it fixed, you better tell them so. Because if they have a problem on their vacation, they're going to come back and say, why didn't you make this happen before I left? So do you see any good reason why we shouldn't schedule your treatment now? And they'll tell you if they do. And today. So it's really straightforward. So this is a close. Mrs. Jones, assuming we can maximize your insurance and fit the remainder into your budget, is this the quality of care you would like to have? Do you see any good reason why we shouldn't schedule your treatment today? It's that simple. Now I have to tell you, there were about 6 consultants, dental consultants, that all sat down, with me included, and we went through and we took the best of everybody we had. It included Bob Macario, Walter Haley, of course myself, and a bunch of other guys. And we said, these are the issues you got to deal with, and this is how best to present it. So I can't take total, blame or credit for this, but it's pretty good, and I got to tell you, it works 9 out of 10 times. However, what happens if the patient says, well, I don't want to, or no? All right, it happens. Absolutely no one has 100% conversion, when it comes to case acceptance. I actually sat in a seminar once a long time ago when I first started in dental consulting, and a guy was a guru. He's up on the stage. He was a good-looking guy. He clinically had all these things, and he says, I get 100% case acceptance. And I got up and walked out, because that's not true. We all know that. There's always somebody, for whatever reason, is not going to accept your treatment plan at all. Now, basically, when someone says no, you got to understand, they're really not saying no. They're saying they need more information to make a positive decision. And I learned that from Dr. Tony Feck, a really great doctor out of Kentucky. And he came back and he says, they just don't have the information to make a positive decision. So you've got to probe and figure out what they need to answer that question. So always work to answer their objections, and don't hesitate. Say, well, why was you don't want to start now? And they'll give you a reason. It might be financial. And they said, well, then you can go into phased treatment and so forth. But that's another issue for the financial arrangements issue. But you can deal with it. Just don't get stunned when they say no, and say okay and let them go. Probe into it and says, well, what do you need to know to make a positive decision? And that's pretty much it. The patient just doesn't have enough information yet to make that final positive decision. I think that's it. I think that's the whole thing. And if anybody has a question on this and they want to review it, I've got a schedule online, because I do consults. They're short. Anybody can call up. There's no charge. Julie, I'm going to have to ask you, what's that URL that they can go to? I think it's Snapchat or something.
Well, the URL is not quite so easy to remember, but if you all check your email where you were told about this, you will find it. I can also paste it into the chat. What the actual URL is, it's snapappointments.com/listing/4 lowercase g capital D. Again, if you go over to the chat window, you'll see that. And you can also find it, again, in the emails that told you about this webinar.
Okay. Like I said, I'm available usually on Wednesday afternoons and most of Friday, except if I'm doing one of these programs. I just saw this come up. Okay. So you just click onto this. You can schedule an appointment. You usually have to do it a day in advance, so I know how to plan my day. So you can schedule for next week if you like. So it's pretty straightforward. I think our next LeadFire webinar is scheduled for next Friday, but I just realized that that's the day before the 4th of July weekend. So I think maybe we should skip it for next week, because I know a lot of people are going to be traveling and enjoying the weekend. So I think we'll move it to week after next, and we'll be sure to send you emails on when that's available and when we can come in, and you can just check in anytime you want. Michelle, is there anything that you'd like to add before we go?
No, I believe you've covered everything today, Jim.
Okay. Julie, are there any more questions that are coming in from the chat group?
We don't have any more questions, but I do want to let everyone know that we'll be collecting questions via email for our next coaching teleconference. As I mentioned before, and again I just pasted into chat, you can send us those questions to our email address, which is coaching@internetdentalalliance.com, and we look forward to hearing what you all have to say.
Okay. Thanks, folks, and looking forward to seeing you in about 2 weeks. Enjoy.
Take care, everybody. Good night.
Bye-bye.